Welcome to CosmicRx Radio, a podcast that gives you real-life tools of spiritual empowerment and pure hype. I'm your host and intuitive guide, Madi Murphy. This week, the sky is giving big cosmic shifts, soulful audits, and a powerful invitation to step into trust. Buckle up, babes. We are talking about the powerful Pisces eclipse portal we're entering. We got a lot to yap about, but first, welcome to CosmicRx Radio. I am your host, your high vibe hype woman, your cosmic consultant, your messy but mystical guide on this wild ride of being a human, Madi Murphy. We have so much to chat about today, right? This is it. We're going into, there's like double planets retrograding. Mercury is entering Virgo to help us snap into shape. But the big headline is the Pisces eclipse. Before we get into all of that, I got to talk about like my Virgo announcements. We got to do a check-in. We're kind of in that like September energy of Virgo now, which is way back to school energy. It's a way back to school energy. I'm feeling it. I bet you're feeling it. And in true back to school form, if you missed your summer reading, your summer homework, the episode that came out last Monday did a full deep dive on eclipse season self-care. So you might want to listen to both of these episodes to get the full rundown to help you and support you in eclipse season. Okay. And we got this. We got this. We're in this together. So first things first, Virgo, keeping it the realist. Details matter. Details matter. Gotta go into my Virgo announcements. If you haven't gotten your copy in the Cosmic Zone, what are you doing? No, I so appreciate so many of you have already purchased your copy. It means so much to me. I love seeing your pictures of you reading it, at the beach, taking it on your walks, traveling with you on your nightstand. So many of you have sent me pictures of it in the wild and bookstores. We had this amazing 28-day challenge. We are a few days into now. And it's so cool to see this book come to life in real time, and really doing some really cool work of helping people step into their fullness, remember their magic, realize where they're getting in their own way, realize where they're ready for something more, realize they have everything they need within them to turn their magic all the way on and be in that place of alignment. Because when we're aligned, we are naturally magnetic. We know what is for us, what is not for us, helps us trust more, helps us stay in our truth more. So we're not only magnetic, but we're actually magnetic to what we want, which is always like the fine print to being magnetic and manifesting. And I love that this book is kind of coming with its own like group chat now. So definitely stay tuned. We'll do another one of these challenges because it's so potent. It's so powerful. I am inspired every day by it. If you have bought the book, I have to ask, please leave a review. It really helps. It helps the book get into more people's hands. It gets it out there more. And the reviews are literally the magic potion that help this book fly out into more hands and more hearts and help people discover their charts. And also a Virgo announcement, mark your calendars if you're in the New York City tri-state area, or if you just have a lot of frequent flyer miles, some credit card points, and you want to fly in. September 16th, it's going up on a Tuesday. We are gathering in New York City for our high vibe happy hour book tour party. There's going to be drinks, mingling, giveaways, signed books, all the cosmic vibes. Just something that's going to feel really good for the energy and spirit, because I have never not done an event with Cosmic RX where everyone walked away being like, God, I really needed that. I just made some new besties. I remembered a part of myself. I feel lit up. I feel inspired. I feel clear. I feel sassy, a little classy, and a little throwing that assy around from hanging out with all these baddies IRL. So come check that out. And a few of you asked about doing the giveaways again for the Radiance and Reviews of the podcast. I will be bringing that back this week as we go into September around the book launch time. I'm going to be bringing that back. And we're also going to be bringing back If Astrology Isn't Real. So I do apologize, not apologize, but just owning, as we were doing the double podcasts, 2 a month for in the Cosmic Zone, interviewing people to me that really embody living in the cosmic zone, or people that have been part of my journey of stepping into the cosmic zone or understanding it. There was just a lot of content swirling around. We put a pause on the If Astrology Isn't Real, but that segment will be coming out again. It's going to start on Fridays. Make sure you're subscribed here, wherever you listen to your podcast. And also we drop that on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed there and you will be the first to know when that comes out. And God, we're going to have so much to talk about because so much is happening as always. And so much is going to continue to happen. And I can only imagine what this eclipse season is going to bring on the world stage. All right, so let's get into the moon report. Speaking of eclipse season, so the day this podcast comes out, Monday, September 1st, the moon is in Sagittarius. So we're talking, it's Labor Day for us in the States. If you have a day off, stretch your horizons, say yes to an adventure, take a new class, go somewhere you've never gone before, like go watch a movie in a different language, work that different side of your brain. Okay. We are expanding our horizons. And even if you have to work, you can do this, right? This is something we could always do in wherever we're at. We have the internet. We can choose even just to like go to a new restaurant for dinner, again, listen to a podcast, something completely different. This is about changing our perspective, changing our maybe viewpoint on the world with some kind of new inspiration. We're going to look out for that Monday. We're not going to overcommit. We're not going to overpromise. We're going to watch the tendency to exaggerate or speak out of turn. Sometimes to fill the air, we can just be yapping, myself included. But on Sag Moon days, we want to look out for like, ooh, where did that yapping get us in a little trap in where now we accidentally said something we didn't mean to say, hurt someone's feelings, maybe spilled some tea that wasn't ours to spill. It's just things to look out for. Tuesday and Wednesday, the moon is in Capricorn. These are going to be great days right? It's like after the holiday weekend, it's Virgo season. Like I said, it's September Virgo energy and a moon in Capricorn. There's never been a time that just feels more like back to school energy, getting organized, maybe sitting down, writing out, mapping out some goals, checking some things off the to-do list, doing something that feels like a planning, a strategy session, while also maybe like taking some kind of action, whether that's a decluttering, whether that's firing off an email, something to get something off of your brain, even one small thing, it's going to feel good. Okay. Don't on these days fall into workaholic mode. Don't beat yourself up for not, being further ahead. Don't feel like because it's a Capricorn moon day, you have to change your whole life and do 15,000 things, right? One step will create clarity, the clarity you need for the next step. Then we go into Thursday, September 4th, into September 6th. The moon is going to be in Aquarius. Okay, so we are connecting with our soul squad. We're letting the freak flag fly. We're brainstorming new ideas, looking for my iced coffee. We're joining a collective cause because, God damn it, we need it more than ever. The world is truly a dumpster fire, at least here in the US. It feels that way because it has to. We are in such a breakdown to breakthrough moment, but we need community more than ever. We need to join with the like-minded dreamers. We need to support our neighbors. So like, this is definitely, let's not on these days isolate. Let's not get stuck in the endless doom scrolling online that makes us feel like there's absolutely no hope in the world. That's big, okay, for this Aquarius moon days, for like the foreseeable future, but especially because we're going to be feeling a lot of feels because we're headed into the full moon eclipse in Pisces on September 7th. So we are going to be in a place of do. We are going to practice surrendering, releasing, leaning into your spiritual practices that are not manifesting. We are not actively manifesting during this time to practice actively how it feels to release our hands, release our grip. We are journaling. We are crying. We are dancing it out. We are praying. We are meditating. We are just letting yourselves feel so we can heal, so the eclipse can reveal whatever it needs to about our next chapter, our next moment, our next becoming. Okay. We are not going to get lost in escapism. We are not going to get lost in too much wine, too much Netflix, too much online shopping, too much delusion in the not serving us way. We're going to keep our eyes open and our feet on the ground, right? That is how we're going to navigate through this. I'm going to get into more about this Pisces eclipse and the balance between the Virgo showing up and it being in discernment and the Virgo Pisces, trusting the process and just trusting the magic and miracles that our mind can't really wrap its head around, pun intended. So I'm going to get into more of that in planetary planning. But first, let's just get out the cosmic calendars. We got a lot going on this week, okay? We have Saturn is retrograding back into Pisces. That is going down on September 1. Okay. So this means this full moon eclipse is going to be happening alongside Pisces. So it's karma on karma. It's action on action. It is, taking accountability on taking accountability. It's boundaries on boundaries time, right? So we really want to be aware of, really even what started back in March 2023, March 7th, 2023, when Saturn moved into Pisces initially. But definitely, thinking about the Pisces part of your chart, we are looking at inspect to protect. We are taking like a full audit of our energy. Where is it leaking? Where are we not taking radical responsibility for ourselves? Where do we need to show up more for our heart, for our art, for our creativity, for our spirituality, for our intuition? So I would love to have you, think about this is going to last through, did I mention it? This is going to last through November 27th. So if you're Saturn and Pisces babies, this is a little dip back into your Saturn return medicine. And for everybody else, and we're definitely going to see some big ass things on the world stage. I would say some, Saturn retrograde usually holds world leaders to some sort of accountability. We see some backlash from, again, it's like karma catch-up moment. The goddess will it. So things for us to do. We're going to audit our boundaries. Where are you leaking energy? Like I said, we're going to revisit the spiritual or healing practices you've been avoiding, especially when you know they're good for you, but you haven't been making the time. Whether that's therapy, whether that's your meditation practice, whether that's journaling, whatever it is, be like, let's go back to those things. It's okay if we got off track. That's human nature, but let's get back on track with that. Let's double check the foundation of your dreams. Are they supported, or are they just floating around like little dandelion poofs or little bubbles? Your dreams deserve to be supported. I often talk about in my workshops, in my client work, that Saturn is not this punishing figure, but Saturn is like a trellis. Saturn is like a trellis that wants to support all the buds and blossoms and vines of your dream. Okay. Like you are the flower, you are the blooming plant. It needs to be supported. So let's look at that. Let's have a radically honest conversation with ourselves. Then we go into Mercury in Virgo on September 2nd. This week is just like bam, bam, bam. Mercury will be in Virgo to the 18th. So we're finally out of Mercury in Leo. We've been in Mercury in Leo for a minute all summer. And we had a retrograde in Leo, in Mercury. So now we've been direct, but now we're in Virgo. So this is like the time of year where if you are looking to get more focused, to get some shit done, to get organized, to get clear, this is your time. Okay. We are thinking the theme of this transit is like simplify to amplify. We are looking at cutting out the lag and drag in our life so we can zoom forward. Some action steps to think about. Let's declutter one area of your home or business once a week. I would love that. Well, Mercury's in Virgo. Pick one day a week. Maybe it's Wednesday, Mercury Day. Maybe it's Saturday, Saturn's Day, and just declutter. One time your closet, one time your inbox, one time your calendar, one time your, garage, your car. It's going to feel so good. And Virgo loves consistency. Virgo loves the showing up, right? The practice makes magic of it all. And also Virgo loves like tracking. So track something that matters. We have tons of unlimited apps now, or you could bust it out analog goddess style. Track your sleep, track your money, track your cycles, track your steps, track like things, not if it's going to make you go crazy, but it does help. I always know that I'm like, I think I'm doing okay with something. And then I track something and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize how far off base I gotten. And also there's something empowering about tracking something, seeing it, that just takes it out of the nebulous, right, into something that we can do something with, change it, make it better, or just understand ourselves deeper. Then I want you to also, during Mercury in Virgo. Oh my God. I would love, sometimes Mercury in Virgo loves to dish out the advice. So I want you to pause before you feel tempted to give out any unsolicited advice. I want you to turn that energy inward and look at how you can refine your own systems, right? How can you maybe even take your own advice? This is me talking to me right now. And then we have Uranus retrograde September 6th. This happens and then it stays till February 3rd. So Uranus is retrograding. This is the theme is rebel, revolution, reboot. Again, this is going to be a kooky few days, okay? So we are going to feel this on the collective level. When these big planets go retrograde, we might not always feel them personally, but we will be feeling them collectively. On the personal level, some things you could think about during this time, questioning your beliefs. Are they really yours? Or are they inherited? Do we need to rethink something in our mindset? Do we have some kind of stinking thinking where we're getting in our own way with our head up here? Do we need to do some joyful reimagining around our relationship with technology, with AI, with media? It's never all in or all out, very rarely. It's more about like being conscious of what's serving you, what's draining you. Okay. And I do want, without being fear mongering, I do want us to prepare for emotional and economic shakeups this fall. The Uranus going retrograde, we are going to experience some financial shakeups. That just is in the economy. Okay. So I want you to get clear on your values. I want you to get clear what really matters. I want you to spend your money, we're in line with those values. And I do want you to think about, being just cautious with your finances, right? And just like really maybe using this time with Mercury and Virgo to do a good audit of that and not in a fear mongering way. We're going to get through this all together. But we feel it, right? No one's surprised to hear this, but there's absolutely some shakeups coming this fall. So full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, speaking of the shakeup. So September 7th, 2:09 p.m. Eastern time, 15 degrees of Pisces. We're having a full moon lunar eclipse. The theme is surrender. It is soul release. There are action steps, right? I took some notes here beyond even what I'm just saying off the top of my head, because I just want to make sure that, I don't leave anything out for this. Eclipse season is really profound because it will show you there's things beyond your control. I talked about it last week, but like, can you leave something on the altar of the eclipse, especially for the Pisces full moon eclipse? Can you just think of something that you are actively ready to release and let go of? What are the habits that keep us feeling grounded? What are the habits that keep us numb and disconnected? What are the things that we're ready to let go and unclench ourselves from so we can let go of the good to make room for the great, for something that's more aligned, right? Are we going to, think about with the Virgo and Pisces, like how can we be of service in our rituals? How can we use that Virgo energy to disrupt certain, tools of the empire, if you will? And how can we lead into Pisces, a place of more compassion, more openness, more loving energy towards our neighbor, towards each other? It's going to be happening in the micro and macro, right? Eclipses affect us in huge, huge ways. And it's like, the houses where the eclipse is falling in your chart, it's going to act like, a shuffling. The universe is moving furniture around. And I always like to get a little bit clear on like, maybe what I want the vision, or where am I ready to actually let go of some of that furniture? And when we're can be actively in tune with that, yes, there are going to be plot twists, but there's almost like us feeling like we're ready to let go, and acknowledging that can again make us feel like the eclipse is happening through us instead of to us. Okay. So this Virgo Pisces balance, I just want to talk for a second about like, if any of you listen to like my kind of fertility journey solo podcast about birthing baby Scorpio, you've heard this before, and I'm going to give an abridged version. But, when I was trying to get pregnant, I started to try to get pregnant around 37, I think 36. And of course, modern science is after 35, like you're old, it's geriatric pregnancy. I'm just like, well, I just refuse to take on any of that. But I did have like, my Virgo went to overdrive of like, okay, I want to get healthy. I want to, make sure I'm taking the right supplements for my egg health. I want the acupuncture, which was great and very important. It was a great wake up call and invitation to be really in my body in a really special way. But then it also, like all signs, have the spectrum, right? The conscious, the low conscious, the light and the shadow, the healed, the unhealed. And my unhealed Virgo, my lower consciousness Virgo, my shadow Virgo, definitely went into control mode. It was like every month that I wasn't pregnant, I'd be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, freaking out. I did end up, doing some and like, okay, I want to go to a fertility clinic. I want to work with a doctor. I want to, start some IVF. I want to get ahead of this. I want to freeze my eggs. I want to, look into that route. I worked with a beautiful set of doctors and nurses that I'm so grateful for. And, just like the long and short of it is that I had to do a few rounds of IVF because whatever was happening with the injections they give you, my masculine side of my body, which is so funny, my right ovary would just overproduce eggs. Like it was like overachiever. It'd be like day one of the injections, like bam, bam, bam. And they kept waiting for my left side to catch up. And because of that, the left side wouldn't always catch up. And it kind of like ruined, this is me, like my very like non-medical jargon. It was like right side was like popping them out. Left side, we were waiting for it. And what happened is that like it would mess up the whole process, kind of. It was like waiting for avocados to ripen or something. Like the right side was out the gates, but had the left side caught up, No ripe avocado on the right. And so, because, obviously this was stressful for me, it was awful. One of the first doctors I talked to when they were reading the results was a doctor I'd never met before. She was reading my results over the phone. And she just muttered some things to me that were like, poor egg quality, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what now? I'm sorry, what? I am spiraling. I am crashing out. What are you saying to me so casually on the phone? It's anyone who's been through any kind of fertility journey, the emotions are so heightened. And the Pisces Virgo axis feels so much to me about that, because there is like the health, there's the very physical aspect of birthing, but then there's the part that's very Piscean, that is very much, connected to the spirit world, to magic, to miracles. And I actually loved working with my fertility doctor because, he said straight up to me, he's like, there's just a lot about this process that we'll never understand as doctors. Like, there is just a miraculous, spiritual, divine energy it's a part of this that like science will never totally be able to understand, replicate, control. Here I am, in my like crashing out, but I always do. Like, I find a lot in humor and a lot of medicine in that. And so my family and my close circle of my inner friends, we started calling it like my Pisces ovary and then my Virgo ovary. And it was like my Virgo ovary was like overachieving. And then my Pisces one was like la la la, like coming in late to class and just like going on her own rhythm. And so and even like, anyone who's done this work, it was like when they do ultrasounds, they could never find my Pisces ovary. It was like my Virgo one was right there, like front of class, reporting for duty. And I tell you all of this, not just to like put my full, inner reproductive system on blast, but because it was like really the universe was like communicating something to me through this. And, my Virgo sun, my Pisces moon, I've been given this life lesson, I feel like, about understanding this balance between showing up, between working, between, yes, doing the right things, getting all this stuff checked out within me, taking the supplements, going to acupuncture, and all that stuff was really important. And it was really helpful. And there were things like going, the traditional route that sometimes my Pisces moon was like, baby, it'll happen when it happens. But there were things that I did have to, that I got really clear on from going to my acupuncturist, from getting certain tests done, that really helped me not only become pregnant, but help me understand who I am more as a mother, how to feel regulated, how to feel healthy, how to feel grounded. But then there's like that Pisces energy too, of like show up right before it tips into control, right before it tips into like stress, strain, forcing, gritting, clenching down, controlling the process. There has to be the Pisces element of surrender, of like also leaning on my more spiritual side, prayer. And, in this process, I would just pray for signs. And there were fucking beautiful signs at every juncture where I felt overwhelmed or ready to give up. Something as simple as laying back in the chair. They'd put all this art on the ceiling, on that ceiling tiles, which is a great idea for any of you like OBGYN, anywhere where women are laying on their back and having to go, there's a very vulnerable process. They put inspirational quotes. And I just remember it was like, one day your story will inspire others. And I'm going to cry just thinking about that. And it was like, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Like all the twists and turns of this journey, I hope it can inspire someone else one day. And I'm also saying that because I see myself on the other side of this, like in my heart, maybe my actual head didn't understand it. Because when you're going through it, every day feels so long. I remember seeing that quote and being like, okay. And then I remember like my first egg retrieval day, of course, I was like, in room 111. And I was like, yes, I was like freaking out to my husband. And then my nurse was like, why are you freaking out? And I was like, I love angel numbers. And I love this like 111. And she's like, great. She told me her name. And, she had my best friend going up's name. And then we had shared a few other synchronicities in common. And I was like, great, I'm so held in this. And I work with dragon energy a lot, listening to dragon meditations, which is a whole other story, when I was getting pregnant. And along the way of getting pregnant, there were so many signs from dragons, which is, as you could imagine, not as common, maybe as like the 111. And all of this was just the signs and symbols that kept telling me, you're on the right track. Keep going. Like, keep your heart open, keep your head held high, keep trusting, keep being in alignment. And it really did, help me. It carried me through. And then, of course, the day that Saturn moved into Pisces, the full moon in Virgo directly conjunct my sun, Pisces sun, Virgo moon on March 7th is when I found out I was pregnant with baby Jordy, as I was about to go into my next embryo transfer like a week later. I had gotten, kind of accidentally or magically, naturally, whatever you want to call it, organically, old fashioned way, whatever, pregnant. And I was like, holy shit, if astrology isn't real, if magic isn't real, if spirit isn't real, then why? And coming into the office and getting it checked out for the doctors, to see what was going on and how far along was I and was the baby healthy and all that. It was cool. I was way further along than I had thought. So I was able to, hear a heartbeat and do all the beautiful things. I was like, but my left side hurts so much. I get this like kind of cramping pain. And they're like, oh, right. Sometimes the ovary that releases the egg will cramp. In the weeks after fertilization, because it's like feeding the embryo, if you will. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, after all of this, it was the Pisces ovary that came through with that egg. My Virgo overachiever was like, are you really like the ovary that wasn't coming to class, that was showing up late, but yeah, just doing their own thing. And I tell you this story as we go into these Pisces Virgo eclipses because there is a balance. There is a balance of showing up, doing the things, but then surrendering, right? To the parts of your life that spirit wants to bless you, wants to express through you, wants to make a mess of you, wants to do things to expand your idea of what is possible that you can't even imagine right now. That's how beautiful it is if you are just okay with trusting, with following, like, the call, the invitation, something. I'm guessing there is something for you to heed under this Pisces eclipse where it's time to let go of something. And your ego is like, I want this. I want to hold on. I want to clench. I want to make it happen a certain way. But your heart is like, I can feel this is not meant for me, or this is not me. This is not for me. There's something better coming. And I don't understand how it's going to happen, on what timeline, when, but I do feel like I feel it in my heart. This is what I deserve. This is my birthright. That which I desire desires me, and this ain't it, this thing, right? I just trust you. I implore you to let yourself lean back and remember just how divinely you are held, how much you are being directed and protected. And like, you're not alone in this. You are not alone in this. I could cry again. There's so much at your back, okay? Like, my baby girl, my baby boy, like, just don't settle. Don't feel like you have to suffer or just even like maintain the status quo and like a satisfactory, it's okay, it's not great energy of your life. That is not what you deserve, but you do have to let go. And in the letting go, it's not passive. It's not just like, I wasn't just like in my fertility journey, like on a float, in a pool, just like, I'm being passive, drinking lemonade by the pool, right? Like, it's the work of navigating a current, a tide. I talked about the whitewater rafting. I've talked about surfing. One of my dear mentees this week was like, I get it. I feel it. And I'm so seasick. I'm like, yeah, there is seasickness that might happen in this. Or like, I'm getting water up my nose, or I have to like, hold on tight in a different way to my faith in the process, right? So I hope that leaves you with something. I hope that leaves you with something like, if something is not serving your highest good, it is time to burn that to the ground, to bury it, to let it be released on the altar of the eclipse. If you have a deep dream in your heart, then it is time to believe in it. It is time to receive on it. And it is time to act like it's already yours, right? What's your next move if you know it's already yours? And it's a good time to do a fucking good ass cleaning of the energy field. I'm talking salt baths. I'm talking sound healings. I'm talking just putting on a good fucking playlist and letting yourself cry. Okay. So this week it's all about recalibration. Saturn, Uranus, Mercury is doing some things. And this powerful Pisces eclipse is washing and cleansing it all and showing you where to let go, where it's time to go, where it's time to refine, and where it's time to dream bigger, but with both feet on the ground. Okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to keep showing up and moving in alignment with your truth. So I hope this served you in some kind of way. If you're watching on YouTube, drop in the comments. Let me know what you're feeling. If you're in Cosmic RX Premium community, I'll be doing a bonus podcast, as I always do, for every sign of what's happening, what this eclipse means for you. If you're in the New York City area, I will see you September 16th. IRL. Let's hug it out. Let's just scream it out during this eclipse season together. And until then, please stay cosmic, stay in your magic, stay grounded, and I'm going to keep wrapping you in those blessings for big, fat, juicy checks and hot, fulfilling, toe-curling sex. Until next week. Do you love getting your Cosmic RX for the week here and want more? Make sure to sign up for our premium subscription so you can get exclusive access to bonus podcast episodes, all of my astrology info for the month ahead, and live new and full moon calls to help you manifest your dream life with an intentional international community of other cosmic baddies. Sign up through our link in show notes. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you want to know more about Cosmic RX, head on over to thecosmicrx.com. And if you really love this show, I'd love it if you left a rating and review on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to podcasts. I super love hearing from you and reading your reviews. All right, you cosmic baddie, tune in next week. And until then, remember, love yourself fully, work your magic, and take no shit.